a Tuscan braised pork and polenta crust pie. I'm running out of room. Let me go ahead and do this. You need 3 carrots peeled and cut in half-inch circles. That's what I'm doing right now, so we might as well get going on this dish. So I wish you all a good morning. I hope everybody's doing well. I know a lot of the dishes I'm making, you say it's too hot. No, it's not hot. Tomorrow is going to be hot. I think tomorrow we're going to be in the 90s. And then we're going to be plunging down. Halloween. Good morning, Valentina. So you need 3 carrots. They want half-inch circles. So good morning. About half-inch circles. Yeah. See, just because it's summer doesn't mean you quit cooking or spring. And all of a sudden you think, well, I don't have to cook, or you only cook during the holidays. You know? Cooking is something you do every day. A lot of people don't know that. They sort of think it's only in holidays you see women cooking. But the food that you buy in the store pre-made, somebody's at that stove or oven working. But they limit you to what you can have. And I sort of like a variety. If you don't believe me, you could take a look at all the different kinds of muffins I make and say, yeah, she likes variety. Normally, if this was an old recipe, really, really old, it'd say bite size. That's what we had to learn. Good morning, Wendy. Anns. Okay. Hope all of you had a good evening. All right, how many celery? And 3 stalks of celery. All right, we need 3 stalks of celery as well. Oh, this one has bugs in it. Oh, Kareem. Okay, you're from New Zealand. I'm feeling good, Kareem. I really am. All right, we're going to make these a 1/2 inch. They're all about the same size. Where's that? Okay. Well, they're not going to all be the same size, but I'm working on it. Oh, I'll eat these. No, I'll put them in. Hi, Irv. Us? Yes, you can. You can tell a joke if it's a nice one. Carefully. Very carefully. Are you testing me? Ed? Why do you want to know? You don't know how to cut an onion? The proper way is don't cut your fingers. Okay. My roots are there. Proper way to cut an onion is not to cut your fingers as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Because I cut mine a lot. You'll see, if you watch me long enough, you'll see band-aids on my fingers. Not meaning to. It's just, it happens. This onion go in at the same time before I put it over. Okay, they can all go together. Good. Putting all my vegetables in one bowl. Hi, Luke. Ed. Okay. Thank you, Ziggy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Look, I'm just going to take you off. Take one whole skin off. I'm not going to dance around with the fly. Okay. I'm going to talk about something. I'm just waiting for a few people to come on because I do have somebody watching and they've just lost a loved one and it hurts. So since I've been there on the other side and come back, when I had died and, well, I was pregnant and I died and my son was dead because I was carrying him. We were both dead. When I was in between, the body was dead, okay? And they were trying to get me back. You're welcome. What happened was, it's going to be in vignettes because you have to understand that's all I can remember. But I remember enough that I can sit there and tell you. When my body was dead, I just got up, okay? And next thing I knew, I was before Christ. And I was at his feet, crying, wailing. And I said, the body is dying. No, remember, we're in the spirit world right now. And I said, my body is dying. Well, we turned to the left, and we heard my children crying for me. And we turned right, because Christ turned right, I turned right, and I heard my husband's prayer. I'll tell you what his prayer is after. I heard his prayer. And the next thing I remember, because I remember leaving my body. I was on the OR table, dead. I came back to the body, but I didn't feel connected to the body, but I was there. But it was like the body was I was having a hard time connecting back to my body. And for those of you who don't think your prayers are heard, or when you hold their hand, or whatever you say to them, they don't hear you, they do hear you very, very clearly. I felt my husband's hold my hand, but it was like this, very limp, but I knew he was there. And I saw him talking to a man. Now remember, the body is in almost a coma state at this point. And I am hooked up to tubes. I'm hemorrhaging. I can't talk, nothing. So I'm not moving in the bed at all. And I hear my husband. I see my husband turn talking to somebody. Then I go back under. It's like I don't understand. I can't see the spirit world, but I'm not in the physical world. It's almost like I'm in limbo. It's a funny feeling. You just don't feel connected. Then I wake up, barely being aware that I have a body. And this is what I hear. Please don't die. Your husband's going to kill me. Please, God, don't let her die. Her husband's going to kill me. Or I see the doctor standing at the foot of the bed. I go back under for a bit. I'm not there. I'm like in limbo at this point. The next thing I remember is I feel a breath next to my ear, this ear. Get up before they kill you. That was my husband telling me, get up before they kill you. And he whispered it very, very low. I went back under. Next thing I know is I am in my body instantaneously. I'm very well aware that I'm not in limbo, that I am at a point where I am physically, I can feel my physical body, and I am no longer like floating between two worlds. And I go to breathe. I can't get air in. I am struggling to breathe and I cannot get air in. And I turn to the right I see a wall. I look down at my feet and I'm still trying to breathe. And I see this table, and I see the doctor who had said the prayer was at the table. It looked like he was with me all night. He was doing the overnight. He had coffee and he was reading some papers. And I look to my left and I see these two black machines. They have this thing go shh, shh. I didn't know at the time they were breathing for me. There was one for the man next to me and one for me. The man next to me was heavy because his belly was large, so I knew it was a man. I stood up and I was trying to breathe because I had connected back to the body and I was really trying to breathe. I started hitting my chest like crazy. I am hitting it. And the doctor runs to me and he puts his arms on my shoulders and tells me to lie down, lie down. I keep on shaking my head no, and I keep hitting my chest. I can't get any air in. And I tried to talk, and because I didn't know I had the breathing stuff in my mouth and in my lungs, I couldn't speak and tell him what I needed. The only thing I could do was keep on hitting my chest. I was hitting my chest. I was hitting my chest. He finally looked at me, looked around, I guess, trying to figure out what was I trying to tell him. What I'm trying to tell is I cannot breathe. He turned the oxygen way up. I got a deep breath, and I went into a deep sleep. I was so glad that I got my breath of life back. Believe you me, getting that breath of life back after being in that state is a very, God bless the breath of life. Do not underestimate it. It is such a powerful feeling when you get that breath of life. I can see why a baby cries out when it gets that breath in. It's the breath of life that God gives you. And I was breathing, I was waking up. I was hurting. Believe you me, I was in a lot of pain. But I came to. And that's what happens. When you're, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, that's when you're not completely on the spiritual, but you're not quite dead. You walk between that realm. And if you say prayers, they hear you, even if they're in a coma. If you touch them, that is a connection that they can feel, though they can't give it back to you. It does, ground you in that aspect. So I can talk about that. So for the ones who are grieving for a loved one, understand whatever prayers you said and whatever you said in the room, or you whispered to them, or you grabbed their hands or kissed them on the cheek. Thank you, YouTube. They know it. They feel it, okay? They try to come, but if it's time for them to go, they have to go. But whereas you cry, on the other side, they're celebrating because the loved ones that they knew have passed were greeting them and bringing them over, celebrating that they went through the life. They pray that they learned everything they learned and everything else, but it is this separation. The only time it hurts is when you're hooked into that body, all the surgery or whatever they do to you. Believe you me, it hurts. Okay? But once you separate from the body like that, but do be aware that your thoughts, your prayers, and everything, this is why doctors talk in a medical term and terminology, so you do not understand what they are saying. Because if they said, oh, she's dying, you're going to go, okay, I'm dying. That's it. But you might not be. But the thing is that they have to be careful what they say around dead people or people who are in comas because they might not really be completely dead or you think they're dead. They do hear your prayers. They do hear your voices. They do feel your touch. They might not respond to you, but if you send them that love, believe you me, it comes through. It really does. So I hope that helps the person or the people who have just lost a loved one and they have a better understanding to know that whatever they said there or the tears, we do hear it and we do feel it. Good morning, Range. Hi, General. Real, good morning. So your angels are real. All of that is very, very real. So when they celebrate on the other side, you're crying on this side. But you celebrate a baby when it comes into this world, and they're crying on the other side. Because they know they're saying to the ones that they love, you know what you got to go through. and they have to say goodbye. So we have this barrier, but if we could break that barrier, you would see that your loved ones are not dead, only the body dies, and that they are still living very, very much and very much at peace. So let me go ahead. All right, we've got 1 onion minced, 3 celery ribs, and 3 carrots, yes, all cut at 1/2 inch. You're going to need sage. I think I'm done chopping. Hold on. They want 2 15-ounce. You also need 2 15-1/2-ounce cans of chopped tomatoes, which I already have. I think it's more than 3 cups, but anyway, I did measure it out. And let's see, we're going to need red wine. We're going to do the meat now. Get another cutting board because you guys have kittens when I sit there and do it any other way. Okay, so just give me a minute. I got a slicer. Just give me a minute. I gotta decide which knife I want. Okay. All right. You are going to need a pork loin, rib in, boneless, and how much? I got a little more. Yeah, they wanted 2 pounds. My mistake. You actually need 2 pounds of a pork loin, rib, and roast, and it's got to be boneless, okay? I know, you ask, why do I dry the meat on towels? Because that's how I was taught. Sorry, that's what we were taught. I know a lot of people who grill, they don't dry the meat off, they don't do anything, they just slap it onto the grill, and I said, well, okay, if you insist. All right, you want it what? 1-inch cubes. All right, they want us to cut this into 1-inch cubes. High thrust. $60, you missed the draft, didn't you? Yeah, you missed the draft. Yeah, sometimes I do general and sometimes I don't. I'm just not doing it this morning. I wouldn't serve a bear. I haven't had this, so I don't know how it would taste yet. We're going to find out. All right, they want 1-inch cubes. All right. Probably won't get it 1-inch cube, but most of the time I do rinse my meat. I'm just not doing it this morning. I guess you could say I'm just being lazy this morning. Okay. Ben, good morning. I hope they bring the draft back completely. They need it. Get these fucking women out of the military, out of the men's department of the military, and let the men do what they have to do. God. they get angry about men going into women's things. Well, look what you did. You started it. And we're the ones that bring down a country, women. So, you better be careful. You don't believe it, but you are. The law has to be cold at times. A woman isn't. I should know. I'm a woman. I know how we think. Women are that gentle side. She can be vicious if she has to, especially attack her family. Then you're really in trouble. All right, you want this in 1-inch pieces. I'm going to get it as close as I can, but I might not. That's okay. I'll get it done. It's so nice to hear those birds. Okay, this is wider here, so some of this is going to have to be cut. Okay, we'll go here. I know some of you sit there and have made comments about things that I use. It's too expensive or something. I want you to know how poor. You know, most people who start today, they have a wedding and people give them gifts to help set up the house. My husband and I didn't do any of that. What we started with was a 4-inch sponge on the floor. That was our bed. 1 military blanket, no pillows. It was bad. There was a time he and I, we actually ate this for almost 2 weeks. We had a half a cup of cooked beans and a half a cup of cooked rice and 1 cup of coffee, and that's all that we ate. I hate beans and rice. You know, and this went on for 2 weeks, and that was the only thing we could eat, and we could only eat twice a day until he got his first paycheck. We had places where we didn't have anything to cook, and I had to learn to cook on a hot plate. My firstborn's bed, you know, the cardboard boxes that eggs come in, that was his first bed. And when we got a bureau, because we couldn't afford a crib, you know what his first bed was? We got a pillow, blankets, and the bottom drawer, and that was his bed. Yeah. We started at ground level. We didn't sit there and have people give us stuff or anything else. We went and did it there. So what I have is an accumulation of a lifetime starting off at ground. People didn't give us things. We did it. It wasn't easy. So if you're jealous or angry that I have these things now, I've lived a life. Hi, pretty cat, Brooke. Yeah, that's where we started. We started at that level and we built up what we have. Hi, Molly. So, I mean, I didn't even get an engagement or a wedding band until, God, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I was 4 years in a marriage when I finally got a ring. Finally got a ring. We couldn't even afford the ring. We were poor. What you call dirt poor? Yeah, that's where we started. And we did it. We made it. No years. I was a very quiet person. Chicago chef. Okay, George. Oh, bacon cheeseburger. Those are delicious. Make sure you get the sirloin if you're going to make the hamburger. Make sure it's medium rare. And definitely with potato rolls with sesame seeds on them. Make sure you toast them. Enjoy it. And by the way, candied Texas is very good. If you don't know what that is candied jalapenos, and they go great on those things. All right, we're going to need some pepper, so I might as well start grinding. How much do you want? Half a teaspoon? I'm going to put more than that. You know me, I'm going to put more than that. They want a half a teaspoon, but I'm going to put more because I always do. People are so gentle with peppers. And there's 5 different kinds of peppers. And I can't believe they only use black pepper. They should try using the green, the red, you know, the pink. I do want to make some desserts with the pink one. I might try it with cookies because they're really sweet. Just be different, you know what I mean? No, 5 years I was not a banger. I'm very conservative. Billard, let's see, yeah, Bill, I'm just going to say Bill, be better. All right, if you like your pepper grind finer, you can. I like mine more chunky. And we need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm going to add the salt into my pepper because we're going to be sprinkling it up over the meat. And then we're going to start cooking. I don't think there's anything else I have to chop, is there? Nah. You need 2 tablespoons in a Dutch oven, and they say we're really going to do it, Dutch oven cooking today. Thank you, Bill. Now remember, my salt is a mixture of iodized salt and kelp. That's to make sure we get our iodine. I think I've got everything, except for the wine and sage. And then we'll make the topping. Okay, do you want me to do anything else with this before I go any further? We've got the tomatoes, we've got that, we've got that. All right, we're going to set our oven to 350. You have to go above or below. How low do you want the show? Okay, you're going to be in the middle of the oven. All right, let's see if I can get you over here. We need 1 cup of red wine too, so go ahead and get that ready. Oh, I forgot to tell you what my husband said. My husband was praying, and he said if I died, he was going to blow the hospital up and kill every doctor. And that's what I heard. That was the prayer I heard when I was standing with Christ. That's what my husband said. And I asked him when I came out, and I was recovering. Did you say this? He said, yes. He said, how'd you know? I said, I was with Christ. We heard your prayer. And he was shocked. And I said, yeah, we hear it. We hear it all. Wrong burner, Sandra. What do we do? So, the doctor knew my husband was going to kill him. I don't know what my husband told him. I tell you this much, that doctor feared my husband. My husband was Special Forces. He was force recon, the nastiest people you could get. And I said, who was going to raise our children if I died? He said, Grandpa, because he said I was going to blow that hospital up. And I know they would come after me, Sandy. I said, well, hopefully, well, then thank God I live, so the children will have their parents. Yeah, they are beautiful singing. Okay, George, I have 2 cats. And good morning, Irma. I love listening to them, I really do. All right, so we have the tomatoes, we have the wine, we have the vegetables. We're going to need sage and the meat. And while it's baking, we'll be putting the crusts together and we'll get all this going. I have to wait for this. There's nothing more I can do. I love to watch the babies. They try to do something. Man, those parents are on them. One time I saw a cat catch the baby, didn't move fast enough, and I heard that mother for 24 hours crying. It was the saddest thing I heard. She didn't want to go back to her nest. She didn't want it. She wanted her baby. She saw her baby be drugged off by one of the cats. And animals cry. I saw her again. And she had another baby with her. But daddy, let's say her husband had to work very fast to get her pregnant again so she could have another baby. She was crying. So if you don't think animals cry when they lose their children, they really do. Yeah, it's nice. Yes, Sammy. We're just waiting for the oil to heat up and we'll get this going today. I think this will be nice for dinner today. If I have time, I don't even think I'm going to have time to do what I want to do today. I've got to take care of cabinets today. Well, I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing, and that'll be it. Just get as much done one day at a time and just clean up. We are making a... Okay, here we go again. I'm going to read it again. We're making a Tuscan braised pork with polenta crust today. It's a complete meal. It has the meat, it has the proteins in it, and it's going to have the starch because we're going to have a polenta topping on it. So that's what we're making. Victor, I think you just heard it. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to be browning this. Oh God, let's see if I get you out from under here so you can see better. Yeah, that's it, Sammy. The cat. Cleaning the dishes. All the dishes and pots and pans have to be washed. All the cabinets have to be cleaned out. The silverware has to be cared for. The pantry has to be redone. And then I'm going to move into the dining room, take care of the china closet, the silverware. That closet in there, I am cleaning it out. And then I'm just going to move through all the rooms and clean up any areas of stuff like that that has to be done and getting rid of stuff. Yeah, they cry. And the male, as they say, got to be a man and do what he has to do to bring her back. Women are extremely suicidal when they lose their child. I was. And you really want to. Of course, the young women of today just sort of say, oh, it's nothing, it's just a clump of cells. You cheapen life so much, but when your breath of life depends upon it and you can't get it, believe you me, you understand when you get that breath of life how much it really means. So, Sammy, how are you doing? So I know what it's like to lose my breath of life and gain it back. And it's really something. So many people take it so lightly, but there's a lot more to it than you realize. When you try to breathe and you can't get the air, the breath of life, panic hits. Another thing that panics. When I saw my guts wide open, because they had to take the baby to revive him, when I left the body, I saw my son's soul come into the baby's body as I was leaving mine. And that's another shocker that sits in. Your mind, you lose your mind, because you know all of this is what is going to keep you alive. And when you see it laid open, oh, this does not go well. You really lose it. I can say it, you do lose it. The sheer panic goes on in your head. We're going to let these brown up very nicely. Put them in a bowl to the side while I get them set. Do you remember anything, George, from it? Oh, I guess you don't remember. Yeah, I remember it. I remember the whole thing. I remember the prayers. I remember seeing Christ. I remember seeing the angels. I remember seeing it all. And I also know when you're in between that world trying to fight for your life back, you know, it's hard. I mean, mean, I fought that hospital tooth and nail. They wanted to keep me in bed. They strapped me down. They gave me medication. I hallucinated, managed to get my arm free, and I pulled everything out of my mouth. Boy, was I sore the next day from that. No, I was with Jesus. I didn't see a light. I was with Jesus. I saw the angels as I was leaving the body. I heard the prayers from the doctor. I heard my husband's prayer and threat. I remember when I was trying to get back into my body, I remember trying to breathe, which was very difficult. But they gave me drugs, tried to keep me under, and I was fighting for my life. And as far as I was concerned, they weren't fighting to save my life. I was fighting to save my life. I gave them, I have to say, I gave them hell. I saw them. I sat there and told them, listen, is there a woman next to the room next door to me? They said, yeah. I said, she came to see me. They said, no, you couldn't see her. I said, she's telling me that you have to let her go. The body is dying. And there were 3 doctors in the room with me. They looked and they said, no, she's not. She's in a coma, but she doesn't talk. I said, well, she's right there behind you. I can hear her, and she's telling me to tell you that the body's dying. Let her go. Those doctors turn around. Man, I never saw doctors with sheer fear. I mean, if you're in the hospital and you're dealing with death and dying and everything like that, you should be aware of these souls that are around, you know? Oh, that's why do you feel that way? You don't argue with Jesus. When he gives the commandment, like I told him, the body was dying. And then he sat there and he turned to his left, and I heard my children crying for me. And then he turned right, and I heard my husband's prayer that he was going to kill everybody in that hospital. He was going to blow the whole hospital up and find every doctor and kill them. And next thing I knew, I was getting back into the body, though I couldn't seem to connect up with my body for a while. So I was sort of what you call in limbo, or if you want to say walking in the shadow of death. But I saw the angels. I saw them all. So when you see Jesus, I mean, I was crying because I was in front of him, and I told him, the body is dying. I mean, I talked about it like it wasn't mine, you know. It was like abstract. And I sat there and it said, the body's dying. I can't go back to a dead body. I can't make it work. You know, basically is what I'm saying. And after I spoke with him, and you heard my husband's prayer, and you heard my children's prayer, he sent me back. And I came back. So what do you think it is on the other world? Okay. Oh, what do you think is on the other world? So I guess you don't believe in demons either. Being with Christ was the most beautiful thing. Where there was no space, there was no time, he was just there. And there was a lot of love there. I can tell you, pretty cat, it was just a lot of love with Christ. He does love deeply. God loves very. If you've ever stood in God's love, which I have described it. You take the head of a pin. That's what you feel when you climax. Now you feel all that love, right? Now I want you to picture this in a large stadium. Huge! That's what you feel. God's love covers the whole stadium and a lot more. And it's so intense when you stand in his love. The only thing you can do is cry because you find out how much he truly loves you. And the love is really much more than anybody really realizes. If you ever feel that, you will know. And I've stood in that love, so I know how great his love is. I'm sorry it's not like that, but I guess you'll learn when you get there. You're being on the other side. Believe you me. Are there demons? Yes. So if there's demons, there's hell. If there's angels, yes they are. And believe you me, demons are huge. Angels are huge. You can't imagine how big these people are. Well, I should say these entities are. They're huge. Oh, you're in a state of beating on the other world. Don't worry. You say we must all pray for forgiveness of our sins. That's what you say. So you're asking forgiveness of your sins. But Christ forgave the ones who sinned against him. Shouldn't we be praying for the ones who sinned against us? And not just pray for them, but pray that they find the light and the wisdom and the knowledge to forgive and be better? Shouldn't we do that instead? Hi, George. Patrick, Granny, please. Please what? Scary? So anyway, we're going to keep this. You throw words, but do you believe them, pretty cat? Don't throw words around unless you know. So what I talked about today was to help somebody who's really grieving over somebody they lost. What do I consider the original sin? Seems jealousy causes everything. Some people think jealousy is the big thing. But I'm sure it wasn't. But in my narrow mind, I just say, yeah, well, if I had to pick a sin, let's say jealousy. You get jealous somebody has more than you steal. You're jealous of somebody, you kill them. You're jealous. So I would say maybe jealousy, but I don't think so. I want you to know this is smelling good. Yeah. Was that what drove some of the angels' jealousy, that the women were beautiful? And that he refused to answer to us, to help us? Was it his jealousy that God put us in that position, man? Good morning, Season, how are you? Brett, how you doing? Excuse me. Okay, we'll get this going. You see why you cut it 1 inch so you have small pieces so you'll be able to eat instead of having to cut it. Ouch! Okay, we're going to cook those for about 6 minutes, I guess. Okay, I'm going to put these back in. I was making batches, and I had to take them out. Okay, more cooking to go. I'm going to do it again. This is going to be a Tuscan braised pork with polenta crust. That's what we're having today. No, I did not, Puddin' Cat. No. No, George, it's not beef stew. This is pork. As you can see, it's going to come out nice. I will say this, that I think when you say the prayer, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I think that at that, I could be wrong when you don't seem to belong at either place, be it spiritual or physical, you're in between that place of, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I think that's that point. I could be wrong, but I think that's it. Yeah, wine. We're going to add wine to it, George. Well, it depends upon what level you're at. All right? I can't sit there and say that we're all at the same level. We're not all at the same level of growth spiritually or not. But we're working our way in one direction or the other. I don't have to be at that point to see my husband and stuff. I can see them. They come through my dreams and stuff like that. So to me, they're not really, like I said, they're not dead. They're home. They're home. This is school. I'm in school right now. Until I'm called home, this is school. It's everywhere like that now. Beef is really expensive. But people will not give up their hamburgers. Okay? So don't tell me they're not eating beef, because they are. They are definitely eating. Just about ready to add the wine. I'm going to be adding 1 cup of wine to this, and then we'll move forward and see how it is. 1 cup of a nice red wine. Now we're going to deglaze this pot with the wine so you can stir it around in any particles. They call it fond. I don't like that word at all. Not in cooking. Sorry. They say the fond is the stuff that's burnt or sticking to the bottom, which are actually bits of the meat and stuff. That's all it is. Okay. How long do you want this to boil? Okay. We're going to boil the alcohol out for like 2 minutes. $20 a buck per pound. Okay, well I guess it depends upon which cut. Most people will get chuck or they'll buy the frozen patties to make their life easy. But I guess the sirloin could cost that, George. I really don't. When I want something, I don't care how much it costs. I'm gonna find money. I'm always saving bits here and there so I can get what I need. I pay my bills and then always looking to see where can I, if I have any money left, I save it. If I don't, well, that's typical. So I understand that. Oh, Angus, yeah. Yeah, I know. My husband and I both had a love, since he was in combat and he knew food could get scarce. He and I have this, we always had this philosophy that you don't have to have the best of everything, but we are definitely going to eat. But just to spend money, no. But I have a couple of times, and I said, what were you thinking, stupid? I don't know. But just to spend it, no. Not unless I need something. And because I'm doing the whole budgeting and everything in this house, I have to do that. I'm going to add tomatoes, diced tomatoes. They asked for 2 15.5-ounce chopped tomatoes. How much sage do you want in here? Oh, I'm going to add more sage than that. Add sage. Well, I happen to like sage, so I'm not going to be cheap on it. They want like a half a teaspoon. And I'm saying, ouch. They don't enjoy sage. Some people are so stingy with seasonings, it's unbelievable. I want to taste it. I want to smell my food. If I can't smell it, I'm going to add more. That's how I look at it. I'm going to bring this to a boil, cover it, and put it in the oven. But right now I want to be able to taste the sage. So I have to bring it to a boil. If I can't, I'm going to add more. Gee, I couldn't change this recipe. The only thing I can do is change the crust that's going to go on top of this. Oh yeah, I just heard of what a woman did. I mean, he gave her everything. He was a police officer, security, all. He went through the whole gamut in law enforcement. And she just walked out on him. I said, oh, yeah. Now women, young women sit there and say, she tries to find somebody, and then when she does, she'll sit there and have a child and then leave him. And then he's stuck with alimony, but that's not going to work anymore because they're going to write the law that if she has a job, he doesn't have to pay alimony or care for the children unless he has them. Now they're splitting the children up 50-50. And she doesn't get the alimony or anything else. She has to do it herself. Now the thing is if she can't afford to care for the children, well, he gets custody. So you men are going to win out and she is going to lose in the long run. All because of what stupid women who listen to Jane Fonda. I was one of the ones that just, my mother agreed with Jane Fonda and I did not. Oh boy. I said, you are ruining my whole life. This is not what I came to, no. Getting a divorce, raising children on my own, no, not all of that. Yeah, they're mean. No, I agree with you, man. I really do. You do get ripped off. Okay, we're going to have to put this in the oven now. They said 30 minutes, but it might be a little longer. You cover it and put it in here and just let it cook while we get polenta going. Oh, okay, so let me see what we need for the polenta. Parmesan cheese. Parsley. You want me to put parsley in it? Oh no, you want the cheese and that separate. Let's see, cooked polenta, stir. I don't know what an instant polenta is. And you shouldn't call it polenta. It's not polenta until it's done cooking. See? This is where they make a mistake. I cook, so I can say this. When you mix salt, water, and cornmeal and you cook it together, you make polenta. That's how you make it. She's calling it polenta before it's cooked. You can't do that. So this is where writings in these cookbooks, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, you could be in deep trouble. So let me go get my cornmeal, salt, butter, and water, and we'll get that going. Cornmeal should be in here. Butter. I don't have salt and butter, so we'll have to go without it. Okay. I'll be right there. I know you're just looking at nothing, but I'm actually having to do this. I'll turn you around with what I'm doing right now. So you say I'm getting dirt. Okay, George. We need 3 tablespoons of butter. You want me to put butter on this? No, we're gonna, I know, I thought you were going to put butter there. You want 4 cups. Okay. I know it's got a pot, so I want it big, so I don't get burnt. getting there. I'm getting there. We need 4 cups of water. Yeah, you can see the mess I have in the kitchen. Let's get around and get over here. Okay. The 2 pictures is me, my girlfriend. She wanted to take the dogs to get a picture of Santa Claus, and she has more than 1 dog and she can't handle them all at once. So I go with her, and it's in a park on Staten Island. No, yeah. Though you see a building in the back, it's not there. It's really just a blank screen. And we go there, we take the dogs, and they get to take a picture with Santa Claus, because those are her babies. She didn't have children, so she uses them as her babies. I need a teaspoon of salt, or put everything in a bowl first. I need a dry bowl. I don't have a dry bowl. I use this bowl. Okay, how much polenta do you want? All right, you need 1 cup of cornmeal. You've got 4 cups of water there. And you've got 3 tablespoons of butter. And to the cornmeal, add a teaspoon of salt. Now, sometimes I use not water, I'll use stock. I should use stock. You know, you really want to do it, Sandra. You really should. Yeah, but I'm adding powdered milk. And I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of powdered milk. This will increase the protein on the meal that we're having. I put all of that right here in the bowl. I'm going to mix it up. And then we'll get this water in. But you can use vegetable stock, beef broth, or whatever you want. I'm just using water this time. Okay, we'll get this going. So have I used bone broth and stuff in my polenta? Yes, I have. Hi, Stephen. Thank you. Yeah, it was on sale, so I bought it. What are you doing? Checking on my cleaning stuff now? Yeah, I have the window and the back door open. I have all the windows but 2 windows open. I don't want to open up the computer one because it's so hard to clean the computer. So I leave it till it has to be the very end before I do it. All right, we have to bring this to a boil. And then we're slowly going to add this polenta in, well, not polenta, the cornmeal. And then after it starts to thicken up, we're going to put 3 tablespoons of butter in there. Yeah, you want to see them. They come right up to my back door to let me know in the winter they're hungry. They really do. They're not afraid. And they're going to eat all the cherries. They're going to poke holes in all my apples. I love listening to them, but they're quite annoying. And what else do they eat? Whatever they can find, you know. Now the squirrels in the yard will sit there and eat my rhubarb. And I said, you know rhubarb is poisonous. Yes, George, I know, each war, but it's basically the same thing. It's killing and trying to survive in this situation. It's not the healthiest. My husband was in Vietnam. Was your father in Vietnam too, George? I can't say World War II. Korean, only if he's 90 or something like that, then I could say the Korean War, but it would be that, or it would be in the Middle East. So if you went to war, George, then that means that you were probably in the Middle East. So which war was your father in, George? You're being quiet now. Come on, boil so we can get this going. And I did not clock that. 30 minutes? All right, let's say 15 after, about 10 after the hour. They want this in for 30 minutes. Yes, my girlfriend got it for me for Christmas. She gave me it, because I give her gifts as well. And I use them. I'm not going to use them according to the season. I'm just going to use them on that way. Give me a good year and this thing will look very dirty. Stained from everything that I do. Mm-hmm. I don't have any money coming. My hands should not be itching. AJ, how are you? And good morning. Come on. We're waiting for this. It hasn't boiled yet. By the time I get done with this, it'll be time to take that out and we'll get going. George, you didn't answer my question. What war was your father in? If you're talking about your grandparents and you're young, then that means your grandfather would probably be in the World War II. Your father would have been in Vietnam and you would have been in the Middle East. I think I got that down, only because I have time in. No, they say a watch pot doesn't boil. They're right. Hi, John. Oh, my husband was right in the smack of it. He was being forced recon. He was really, he said, I was there. His brother got hit going over what they call a land bridge. You walk over. His leg, he got blown. His mother, who was gifted, sat there and told Tony, Richard's dead. He's been hit. And because of Tony's connections, because of his special forces, he found his brother and brought him in. I am doing well. Staying busy, which I'm supposed to be doing. Don't add too much of this at once or it lumps up. You just sort of sprinkle it in and keep on stirring as you do it. You put it all in, you end up with problems. You end up with lumps. And if you end up with lumps, you get the whisk and you start whisking like no tomorrow. Now you see my cornmeal is a bit darker than what you have. It's because I use kelp as my, with iodized salt. Okay, so it's time to whisk them out. Realize polenta is going to boil and it's going to get thick and it does pop, so be careful with your salt. Oh, jeez. I told you it's going to do it. I'm not even done putting the rest of this in. Thank you, AJ. I am doing well, John. So, oh, he was earlier than my husband. My husband was 68, 69 during the tech offense. Well, I got some lumps, but not many. Put 3 tablespoons of butter in there. You better turn it down. It's got a lot of stirring to do. Will try to stick, so be careful. Yeah, George, that's what he did. He was right in the heart of it. He went way up north and everything else. Says, beautiful country. He remembers the rock apes. But he did what he had to do. He got a special mission. I told him that I had a dream one time that I saw you all dressed in black and these other men all dressed in black, and you were on a I want to say like a runway, and I said it was at night. I said it was weird because I would see him in his uniform, but I never saw him dressed like that. You had black stuff on your face too. You know, I told him he was all in black, and he said, who told you that? I said, no, I saw it in a dream. He said, that's how I went on my missions. I said, oh, okay. I don't know where he was. I just knew he was on a runway with some other men, and they were all dressed and everything else in black. He thought somebody told me. I said, no, I saw it in a dream. I couldn't understand why I was seeing it. stream. Let's see. Good morning, Al. All things, good morning. Range. No, this is polenta. I've made polenta. It's made out of cornmeal, water, and salt. But I add powdered milk into it, or I'll cook it in stocks. Whatever I feel like. Hi, Abigail. How are you? Oh, God. How much more? I don't want to stir this much longer, but I know it'll get hard. Okay. If this is smooth like this and stays like this, I can sit there and spread it over what I have to spread over, but if it gets hard, it's not going to work. Yeah, I'm switching hands. My arms are getting tired now. And remember, before I came cooking, I was already working. And that's what I'm afraid is it's going to get really thick, and I'm not going to be able to get it where I need to put it. Well, I'm going to turn it off anyway. My arms are tired. Leave it like that. We've got some cheese we've got to take care of. I'm going to chop some parsley as I knock you down like I normally do, which I don't mean to. Switch hands, that's all I'm doing. We need some parsley. How much parsley do you want? All right, you want Parmesan cheese. Okay. Let's see, my cheeses are. Now, where's the other cheeses? Come on, Sandra. You got a whole bunch of them in this refrigerator. No, I can't even have time. Should be in here. Somewhere I just had three. They don't want much, but they want some Parmesan cheese. Well, I got two. I'm tired of hearing that. I'm tired of it. Do 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 do. So they want Parmesan cheese. Yeah, that's as much as I want. As you see, I like cheese. No, that's for tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Hi, Dragon. Okay, that's smelling good. Let's see, I need... Just throw the cheese in here for now. We need some parsley. I am really running out of parsley. Okay. Okay, we got the parsley, but everything, we're just waiting for that, and then we're done. Okay, Dragon, and good morning. No, I have a business across the way, and their big trucks come through, and we're very well aware of it. Oh, good. You're going to say smooth like this? This is great. All right, so we got the parsley, we got the cheese, and we have to wait again. I'm sorry, this is getting down to a waiting game now. So your hands hurt, so that's why you're using the attachment, the food processor. What they're trying to do is make everything easy. And to me, nothing's easy in the kitchen. It's work. But it keeps my arms strong and it keeps me going. And I don't like too many. I got a dehydrator, yes. I got a mill, yes. I got that espresso coffee maker. I got to really show you that one. I really like that one. I have some equipment in here. The ice cream, that saves me a lot of time. I love my ice cream. I can make ice cream in like 30 minutes, you know, so it's really good. Once you make the custard and it cools for a few minutes in the freezer, then you put it, or in the refrigerator, I think it goes in the refrigerator, I can't remember offhand. Put that ice cream in, it goes to town, and I just whip up everything. Wilts, okay. So, like I have a KitchenAid standing mixer, but they say, do you use it for pasta? I said, no, I don't. I use it for what it's used for. That's how I was raised. No one equipment does everything. I have a pasta machine, right? It doesn't do all the pastas, but I couldn't use the other one because it has to clamp down, but I use it for some things, but not for everything. So you never know. Okay. We got 15 minutes for a review. Okay, somebody wrote something that wasn't nice, as usual. I had some Middle Easterner, I mean, he was the most insulting person, you know? And if they take a look at the writing on their so-called bandana or whatever they wear on their heads, it adds up to 666. Somebody should be careful, you know, about it. That's what we do. You have to get up early. You can't sit around. can't. You have to get up and move and do stuff. I mean, I'm not going to say there are some days I sit down, yeah, but my hands are still going. I'm not quiet. They do, and we were taught this from young. Idle hands are the, you should know it, devil's doing. Yes, Shaman. Cass, what are you talking about? You go for those walks, huh? I had somebody who was going to tell me, I'm going to take you upstate, okay? I said, into the woods so we can walk in the woods? He said, yeah. I want you to know I spent 4 hours and all that I did was sit in the car. He just drove around and that was it. And I said, you know, that's it. That was not what you told me. I put on my boots. I knew I was going to be pounding the ground. And I hadn't been out there in a long time. And then just sit in a car driving down the highway, upstate New York, and then back down made no sense to me. That was a waste. I put on blue jeans. I was ready. I put on heavy socks because I knew I was going to be pounding the ground. I wanted to make sure that I was comfortable. Got out of the car to eat at a restaurant, and that was it. And he was talking about this great restaurant up there. I mean, he was talking like it was great. He didn't take me there. I am 73 and not ashamed of it. Hard. Wilts. So, I was very disappointed. So somebody says, you know, I told my sons where I want to go. I want to go to the Bronx Zoo. I really do. I want to spend a whole day out at the Bronx Zoo. Get up early, get out there, and just have a wonderful time and see the animals and all. I have 2 things I want to do in my life. Other than visit my girlfriend, which isn't going to work out. And I want to go to the Creation Museum. I don't think anybody's been. I think it's in Kentucky. I think it's in Kentucky. Hi, Code. So that is something that I really, really want to see. But I figured going to the Bronx Zoo would just be a lot of fun that I would enjoy. Come on, you guys. Don't you dare. You're going to gel up on me. I don't want you to gel up. This is not going to work. Well, it's not what you think. When I say a girlfriend, it's just a good friend, okay? Not a lover, it's just a girlfriend. I have 3 of them. I have one in Maine, I have one in California, I have one on the other side of the island. No, I have 4, and one is my neighbor. It's not what you people talk about today. You make everything sexual. You come out with all these words and all this other crap, and I don't go with any of it. Shavla? Okay. Okay, Wilts. Okay, Shannon. No, some people, because you don't say what they want, they go. That's fine. I don't care. Leave. When we say a girlfriend, it's never a lover. It's just 2 females that just happen to be good friends. And they sit and talk and just have a good time. But everyone else, these young people, oh, everything is sex. Well, I hate to tell you this. Not everything is sex. People don't understand it. They really don't, because that's how sick society is today. Now, saying I have a boyfriend, that's another thing. That would mean that I'm dating him. But, oh, PG, you're putting your order in already? I don't know exactly where she lives. We just talk. Well, she's angry with me right now. But she'll get over it. And she'll come back. She always does. I think it's in the middle part. I'm not sure. It's she's not far from a VA hospital. She can get there like in 20 minutes driving. If that gives you an idea, because I'm not sure. That's all I know. She lost her husband too, and she is a wife of a veteran as well. So as you can see, it comes out that way. One of my girlfriends, she just had bad luck in marriages because she didn't know how to do plumbing and stuff. He would hit her. Well, she's a woman. She's not supposed to know that. And the other one, Heather, my neighbor is older than I by 3-4 years. And the other one across the island she's a little slow, and she has some physical disabilities, but she's very nice. But I know my girlfriends. I really don't know. I couldn't even give you that. I'm just waiting for that meat to finish up. I've got this polenta that's hardening up, which I don't want it to do, but I'm going to have to deal with it. You see, once we put the polenta on it, we have to put it back in the oven. So that's what we're waiting for. I'm going to need a pad. 40 minutes. 2 minutes is 41. Yeah, we're almost up to the 30 minutes. We just have a couple more minutes, and we will be good to put it together. 2 more minutes. I'm sorry, this is how I am. I get to the point where I have to wait for everything, and it's boring. All right, we're down to 1 minute, and we'll be ready. PGE, did you write something you shouldn't have? That's twice. I see you've been message retracted. So you wrote something nasty you shouldn't have. waiting. Okay, we can take it out now. I can't see. You got the steam. Now the reason you have it boiling before you put it in the oven is to make sure it gets cooked. Other than that, it has to be in there longer. Now my polenta is thickening up, which I'm not happy about. And they want me to put this over this. That is going to be cute because it's not going to spread easily. Oh, sorry, you can't see. Let me turn you down. It almost smells like a chili, to be honest with you. But I also added extra sage because it didn't have enough for me, for my taste. But it is coming across like it smells like a chili we're making. I didn't put any chili in this. It's covering most of it up. Okay. Well, we did the best we could, and we'll deal with it. All right, they want you to take the cheese, Parmesan cheese. I tell you, it smells like chili in here. We're going to put this back in the oven. Hi, Isaiah, Shane. It does. My family does, and if I have extra, sometimes I'll share it with my girlfriends. You know, if they come over or something, and we're just going to sit and talk. And if I used to share it with a boyfriend. Do you want this covered before I proceed to put this in the oven? Cover it? Nope, do not put a cover on it. You're only going to have it in there 15 minutes. Oh. 15 minutes, that dish is done. It is a complete meal. But they recommend to serve it with, I gotta get the bread out of the freezer. That'll be defrosted by time. It's time to eat. That's going to be it. Hi, Isaiah. Crazy. How are you doing? No, my family does. I don't eat all of this. I'm getting leftovers, so I know the chicken casserole I have. I have a chicken thigh from yesterday with the lemon braised chicken thighs with fennel and what else did I put in? Like olives. Uh, I'm going to have leftover from this too. So maybe on Friday it'll be potluck. And everybody will have it. There's a business across the way. They have 18 wheelers. They're coming in and out. Put this back over here. I've got to take care of something. No, I'm not a grandmother. No, I'm not. No, I don't listen to music anymore because I don't like it anymore. Uh, I like Western music is coming back around, which I like that. Uh, I don't know the singers as of yet. I used to like music, but with the blaring radios and the rap, and one person I didn't like was Mick Jagger. I mean, he would stuck the whole mic in his mouth. I could never understand anything he said. So they don't have nice music anymore. The music I would listen to if I wanted to would be definitely the big band era. And church music I enjoy. Well, with the crap that they're singing about today, I wouldn't want to listen to the music anymore. So for you young people, if you like today's music and you think it's old-fashioned, my music and all, you have no idea what's coming down. But we'll find out. Since I already got a peek preview, you can sit there and deal with it. I hope not to be around then. But it looks like I'm going to have to because I'm going to have to see it. I don't want to, but I will. Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses. I think my husband liked. There was one Led Zeppelin song that I liked. I can't remember it, but I did enjoy that one. Now I'm ready. I'll take care of these in a bit. Okay. So we'll leave that for 15 minutes. We got some time in, and I will take care of that. Until we have the meal. I have a shrimp dish that I want to make. No. No clan, no nickel. Oh. Just ignore the idiots. You'll see them coming up in a bit. No, go this way. Okay, we got that set. Just waiting for this to finish, and then that's it. We're out of here. Then I'll take care and start doing everything. I don't stop until I'm just exhausted. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I really do apologize. But they want it in there for a certain time. I said, okay. Well, it's boiling and it looks good. I am sorry about this. There is just nothing I can do. It gets that way sometimes. But there's no way that I can pause this. I would have to stop it and then start up again, and that doesn't make any sense. And I'm not going to do a whole bunch of editing. I'm not good at it. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do, AJ. I do see things that are going to happen. I saw the Twin Towers go down when they were half built. I heard the screams, the yells, everything. And I woke up choking, and my husband saw smoke coming out of my mouth. And I don't smoke, and I was coughing like I was in it. I told him to stay away from the Twin Towers. I said, don't ever go there. You stay away from it. I saw where he had a car accident. He said, Sandy, it's a one-way. Nobody's going to come from the right. I said, the truck is going to hit you on the right side. It's going to be going down the road the wrong way. And sure enough, it happened, you know. So you see it. I saw my husband come to the end of his life, and that stupid balloon that said, when I am deflated, he will be no more. I wanted to stab that balloon so bad, but if I did, I know my husband would die sooner. And sure enough, the day he left this earth, the balloon deflated. Completely down. By the time I got home, the balloon was completely down. I hated that balloon. Yeah. AJ, that's it's seeing the future is what you're seeing. Help guide you through your life. Because I'm older now, I don't see as much in this life as I see in my next life. But I do still see in this life as well. Okay, we're almost there. Okay, here it is. You want bread to soak up the juices on this one. I'll show you. I have to move you around everything. This is it. We're done. That's the dish right there. Now you know what it looks like. And we'll probably eat more than half of this. Knowing my family the way I do, we don't skimp on food. I hate women who sit there and are so petite. They eat very little. Oh, I just want a little bit. Don't come to my dinner table with a dinky little appetite. You better come with a good appetite. That's how I always look at it. Hi, Judy, Donna. Well, I have been up early at 5 cooking, and I haven't had time to really cook in the afternoon. So that's why it's like that. Judy, you are coming at the end of the video. I do apologize. I got started early on this dish that I made. But anyway, that's it. And I am ready to say bye-bye. I've got other things I have to do today. I will not be cooking any more today because I have cleaning to do. I got all these top cabinets and I got all these bottoms and all of that over there to do. And it's going to take me a while because I have to wash everything. And you know that's spring cleaning when you do that. Okay, so listen, all of you do take care. I will see you tomorrow. I know I promised you cookies. I'm going to get to those cookies. You have to, they really sound good. So I'm going to get there. So all of you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye-bye.